Okay, everyone, we're going to try this. This is I guess it'll be the first actual live teaching session on our school community. So and I'm going to be posting this elsewhere in social media. So if you like what you see, you want to find out more about this, couple of ways you can do it. The first one is, well, go to hemispherelearning.ca. That, of course, will always take you to the front door to all of this. And there you'll see a link where you can join our community as well. And I'll just kind of save you time here, and you can just head over there, click on the link, and check it out. And then you can always join. The other one is this here is actually a visual companion guide to our chakra home study course that is in the Hemisphere Learning Institute. Now, it's in the professional mastery section. So if you wanted to check it out and actually purchase the program, it's really good. Like, it's got a really decent manual that really approaches the whole topic of energy systems in a way that I've never seen before. And it's not a ton of words, and it's very pictorial. It also has this companion that I'm going to go through right here. It's got labs you can do. So they're really, I have to say, they're really well done. They're really comprehensive, and you know me, focused on understanding or information, right? The understanding and then the application of it. And that's the thing, right? When you apply these understandings, it doesn't matter what you would pay for the tuition, it's going to be worth many times that. And that's, to me, that's what matters, right? To be honest, if you're going to download this and not look at it, and I'm not that it takes hours and hours or anything, but where you'll see the value out of this is when you apply it, just like all of my teachings. Okay, so anyhow, without further ado, we're going to go through the visual companion guide for the chakra energy systems architecture that is in the Hemisphere Learning Institute of Energy Mechanics. So I'm going to go through this fairly briefly because the pictures kind of say everything they need to say. And like I said, if you want to check it out, just head over there and you can check it out. So I really like the general overview of this, and I actually, I don't know. Yes, I do. I was just going to say I don't know the breakdown of the slides now because I've just bid this one, but if I do, I remember. So if you look at this, and let's see if my markers. This is the first one. Let's see how this is going to go. So these here. No, hold on. Let me think. If I do this, will this work? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, excellent. It's gonna work. Son of a gun. Okay, so anyway, if you look at the overall architecture of the chakras, these, if you will, I'll call them the lower chakras. Now, lower doesn't mean less, higher doesn't mean better, right? The lower chakras, these tend to be focused on our body, right? And when we go through them, you'll kind of see how it relates to that. These here, of course, oh, how do I? Okay, so it keeps. There it goes. I'll get this fixed up. There we go. So the upper chakras tend to be more, if you will, non-physical. Oh, there's another one. Okay. To be non-physical. So this is more, as it says, right? Communication, expression in the throat chakra, intuition and insight here, and then consciousness up here. We'll go through these in detail. All right. So let's just, without further ado, let's go to the overview. So what chakras really are, now a lot of you guys know this already, but depending on where you're viewing this from, you may have heard of the word chakras, but you don't know what the heck they are, other than this weird ass floofy stuff you've heard somewhere along the way. So what are chakras? Like, really? And I really like this. Concentrations of energy and awareness, and they organize how you experience, if you will, being alive. So these are energy systems in your body. And as it says here, will this work? There, as it says here, you won't find them on an MRI. We totally get that. But just because you can't record them using the equipment we currently have, who knows what's going to come out in the future here, they still are real. So now let's see. So I'll see if it'll work this way. So I really like this. So it talks about, as it says, kind of as we move up, perception, insight, right? The universal awareness, that type of thing. And then, of course, this survival, movement, material reality. This is a really powerful word right here. Is so often those in the spiritual movement, they focus so much on these guys, right? I want to be have this perception and this insight and everything. But what we don't understand is our body's part of the whole equation too. And as it says here, this is the foundation, and the energy must be fluid and must move in all directions. Right? It's got to go both ways. So often, as it says here, the term that I've just heard this not that long ago, spiritual bypass, as it says. And I'm just curious as to this markup should stay with this slide. So let's see what happens. Oh, and it did. Look at that. Again, a kind of an overview of them. I'll just kind of move through this because, like I said, you can download this at your leisure. Head over, purchase a program. It's good. It's really good. It's definitely worth the tuition for it. And I have um, a sort of introductory one for the initial cohort because along with these is live interactions and stuff like this. That's where we're recording this for those that are viewing this that aren't in the school community. So we can have like weekly. There's these sessions, so we can have real time interactions and support, and mentoring, and things like that. Okay, so now we're going to go into each individual one. I'll go through these fairly briefly because I said if you can just when you download this and it says it all right there, right? So the root chakra is actually the base of your spine, anchoring your consciousness and physical form, right? So it anchors you into the ground. Hence the root, like root chakra, right? I really like this. So just kind of as really concise information. So when there's a deficiency, when the energy is constricted, when the energy is, think of them as a muscle, when it's overworked and it's tired, this is what you'll tend to feel ungrounded. You feel ungrounded, right? Now, when you have the excess of it, things can get a little bit crazy too, right? What we're looking for is this, of course, right? It's about balance. The sacral chakra, as it says, kind of right in here. This so center of flow. I really like this. And this, I tell you, this one, it's amazing how many blockages, energy densities, constricted, contracted energies live in here. When you look at this, right? This I know when I work with people, this is such a big one. So many cases, there's blockages in there where it's constricted. And this, I mean, and then this right here, right? Like I said, I'm going through this fairly briefly because it just says it all here. When you hop onto the program, you're good. Let me see. I'm just going to play around here, so I should be able to. I want to get it so it just fills the page, but doesn't. Okay, well that's all work for now. I'll play around with the detail later. I'm just trying different apps for markups that are really simple. Our solar plexus. Don't you love this graphic? That's kind of cool. It's right in the pit of our stomach, right? And again, this is the thing we're kind of looking for, right? When we're deficient, whether it's tired, whether it's not nurtured enough, and doesn't have enough nutrients. We talk about that in other classes. And then indecisible, people pleasing. Oh, there's a big one right there, isn't it? Right? When it's balanced, we have this. And of course, when there's an excess of energy, isn't that interesting, eh? We all know people like that. So what this does is it gives you a little bit of insight into the people that you connect with, the people that you spend time with. The heart chakra. So the heart chakra, as it says, is the great integrator. It's that kind of that bridge, if you will, from the lower chakras and the upper chakras as well. When we're balanced, we feel compassionate, open but protected. That's really valuable, right? See, because when isn't that interesting? When there's too much, this is when we tend to have a problem with boundaries. Isn't that interesting, right? We're looking for that balance again. Throat chakra, this is the other one. There are two areas that I find when I'm working with people that there are the most contractions of energy deficiencies, um, is in the sacral chakra and in the throat. When you think about this, right? Translation, the expression, bringing what's inside into the outside. When you think about this, right? We're expressing ourselves. Interesting one with this humming. Now, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Again, here's that the thoughts and all that visualization, that cool stuff, but our body's part of the equation. So when we do something as simple as But kind of take the tone down so you feel it here. You feel a vibration, right? It's vibrating, and that vibration helps balance out, right? This, so we can get to that. The brow chakra. This is one often in classes. The term I use for it is hat head. So it's like you're wearing a baseball cap, and you can feel kind of that constriction. So this, as it says, is seeing beyond the surface, awareness, expansion of your perception. So as that awareness expands, as your perception expands, your physical body is adjusting to that increase of flow, right? Which is really kind of cool. Look at intuition, good discernment. And here's the thing. So look at that, right? So this stuff isn't just, for spiritual people that are, live in a cave and eat twigs all day or something. This is real world stuff. And for me, that's what's so important is this isn't just, fluffy spirituality. This is really, especially from this perspective, from the energy mechanics perspective, this is really important and it's valuable. You can use the damn thing. And the crown chakra. So when you think about it, the root, so if you look at this, the root chakra is like a connection to the earth, right? That survival instinct. And then the crown chakra, am I going to catch it? Look at that. Nope. There is our connection to our source, right? Whatever label you wish to use. Here's a really interesting one. So when it's balanced, this is what we feel, right? This is really cool. And remember, it's about balance. It's the Goldilocks, right? Not too hot, not too cold, just right. When there's a deficiency in it, when it's not being fed, let's say, isn't this interesting? Where you get the cynical, that you don't feel like you don't have meaning in your life and things like that. When there's too much, and this is so often what happens, spiritual arrogance, neglecting daily life, and ungrounded, because we seem to focus so much on expanding our awareness and expanding our consciousness and all that kind of stuff. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but we got to balance it, right? You got to balance it with the rest of the body. And there you go, right? The mechanics of imbalance. Important to remember, right? Imbalance is not bad. It's just information. Remember that. Like, we don't want to look at, again, higher or lower. What higher is better? Lower is worse? No. They're just characteristics. There is nothing in and of itself that is good or bad. It's about balance. Do I have any? Yes, I do have one more here. This is kind of cool. And there you go. Living as an integrated system. The root, right? Grounded in reality. And here's what I find is, again, this is your heart, right? This is a connector between the two. But what I find is, as you bring this back into balance, and for me, I like to think of it as dynamic balancing. So it's not balance and you're done. You're always balancing. And right there, mastery is doing that. Just looked at the damn thing. Mastery is dynamic balancing, not static perception. What I found is, because this is, if you want to use numbers, is 1 and this is 7, right? What I found is, as this one begins to come into balance, you're actually able to bring the second one into balance. I find a lot easier, and then therefore here, especially in the root chakra. So if you want to give it an order of priority, for lack of a better term, this one, and then this one, and then this one. Now, if we look at these guys, it tends to be the same way. I'm just going to can I erase? Where's my eraser? I'll just get rid of this one for now. And if I can go back to here, do you think it works? 1, it did. 2, 3. So connect that universally, see clearly, and then speak truthfully, right? So for me, I find they kind of go like this. But again, there isn't one universal right way. There isn't one universal wrong way. Okay, so can I get out of this? If I do this, and if I do this, and there we're back. Son of a gun. Okay, well, that was the first official teaching. Just to our community folks in the SKOOL community, again, if you want to find out more about SKOOL community, go to hemisphерelearning.ca. Click on the links. There's links all over the place there, and you can check it out. I could actually just while we're here, I'll just show you this real quick. And again, because this video is heading outward, just kind of elsewhere. So sample for you guys. Let's see if I can find it there. So that's just a quick view of it, just like that. Is it this one? Yeah, it is, right? So it's really good for conversation. We have classrooms, right? You can check out different resources and all sorts of things like that. It's really good, right? It's free to join, right? And also some of these other like resources and workshops and stuff that there is tuitions for, our community folks always get deal, free stuff, all that kind of thing. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been our first official live teaching on SKOOL. Hooray. Okay. If you have any questions, guys, you know how to find me. All right. See you on the web.